What is happening, guys? Ronan here once again, and here is another OBS tutorial video. This one's going to be very simple. This is just going to go over the interface that we're looking on the screen now, going from the top left hand corner. We'll bring it around to the bottom left and across this bottom section here, and go through what each of them mean and what you can do within each option. So the first one is file. So file, this one doesn't have as many options as usual that would usually be in a program. So let's go through them. So show recordings, that just shows previous recordings that you've done within OBS. Remux recordings is it's an actual converter. So say if you recorded something in FLV, you can use the Remux to convert that into an MP4. Say I have never used this because I record everything in MP4 and I've just never needed this option. But if you're someone that likes to record in FLV and then convert over, this is where you do it. Settings is, I've done a tutorial video on this on my personal settings already. That is in episode 2. It's basically just all the settings that go into OBS, your stream key, your audio inputs, your outputs, everything. This is where you'll find the settings menu. Show settings folder. I believe you can save setting profiles, and show profile folder, basically you can save a bunch of settings and for using in a future date. I don't use this, but that's what they're there for. Always on top, if I have that checked, that will always have this OBS program on top. It's like a program called Desk Pin. If you pin something in Desk Pin, it will never be covered by anything. If I bring up Google here at the bottom, it's not going to get in the way. So that's what always on top means. I turn that off. If you go to edit, just a couple of simple editing options. You have copy, paste is not available now because I haven't copied anything. Copy filters is any sort of filters that you have on any of the audio effects. Again, more effects here, just transform, order, preview scaling, lock preview, and advanced audio properties. All of them are pretty self-explanatory. Advanced audio properties, you might want to go in if you are separating audio tracks and the likes of that. View, again, it changes exactly what we see on the screen here. So full screen obviously will bring your program to full screen. Docs are, if you can see here, scenes. So down the bottom here is scenes. So if I was to uncheck that would actually get rid of this. So that's what all these are checked for. You want to see all them. Toolbars, again, it's the same thing. Status bar, if I turn that off, as you can see, the status across here goes. So it's really basic stuff. Multi-view screen, I think it's for if you have double monitors. I don't, so I have never used that option. Profiles, again, these are profiles that if you create a group of scenes and sources and you want to save that, well, you can export it to a folder, and then if you want to use it at a future date, you can import it at a future date. Scene collection is, it's pretty much the same thing. The only difference here is scene collection is, it works with this area here. So say if I was to create 4 different scenes and I went export and save that scene collection, then I could import it in, and then it would be basically this bunch of scenes is what you're saving, whereas profile is the whole program. So it's everything. It's your mixing options, it's your scene transitions, it's literally everything. Tools, again, this auto configure wizard is actually really good if you are a beginner to this program. You can go in here and it will actually test your computer and tell you the best settings. Now I will say that it is up to you to tweak it a little bit. I don't think it's fully accurate. As you can see, it's still in beta form, so make sure you have a look at the options that it gives you and tweak it to suit your machine. Captions, again, I have never used this. I believe that's captions across your scene or your recording. Automatic scene switcher, that's for if you say if you have an introduction and you want it to flick on to the next scene, you can set that in here. Output timer, self-explanatory, and scripts, again, I have never touched that and I don't think you will need to either. Help, there is a lot of help here. Again, you can visit the website for loads of tutorials and loads of help with this program, but I'm just trying to go through it the way I learnt it and the way I would like to be taught it. Again, log files is just everything that you do in this program. It is logged into a log file. So say if you were getting a weird bug or something is coming up, you can actually go into the log file, send it off to OBS, and they'll have a look for you and try and figure out what's the problem. Crash reports are pretty much the same thing. If you get a crash, you can send the crash report off to OBS and they will try and figure out your problem. Check for updates, it usually does it itself when you open it up, but if you think that OBS needs an update, you can click this and it will search for an update. Scenes, what scenes are a group of sources or one source. It is, if I wanted to, and I've went over this in episode 1, if I wanted to create a scene where it's an intro, you would rename this intro and then you would bring in your, let me just rename it intro while I've started, then you would bring in that intro into your sources. Again, sources are inputs, outputs, everything that you want to put into OBS to record, to do everything basically is your sources. Scenes are, think of scenes like as a profile, where sources are the components within that profile. It's probably the best way to explain it. Mixer is, if I bring in my microphone here, you will have, it's a sound mixer. You can adjust your microphones and adjust your game sound, game volume, and try and tweak it to the best of, try and get obviously your voice over the game volume so it's not smothered. That's just basically what the mixer is. Scene transitions, this is going from one scene to another, so I have it as a fade now, and this is the time that it takes for that fade to happen. And as you can see, the guys are trying to get me into League of Legends here. So if you look here, we're on the last bit. Hopefully they won't keep clicking away here. But start streaming is obviously self-explanatory. That allows you to start a stream. Start recording, again, self-explanatory. Studio mode is what I use an awful lot. This screen here is a preview screen, and this screen here is the screen that is being recorded or broadcasted or live, if you want to say. So if I gather a bunch of sources here and I hit transition, they will transition them over here. It's how intros work. If you want to do an intro and then you want to say bring it into your gameplay, this is how you do it. And you can set hotkeys up to transition easily and effectively without having to click this button. Settings, again, it's the exact same as what's up in file here. It's the exact same option, it's just an easier way to get to it. And exit, I think, is self-explanatory. It's exit the program. So this has been Ronan. This is a very basic understanding of the interface. Again, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down and maybe tell me why, and comment below if you want any questions at all. Again, I've been using this program for about 2 years now, so I'm no way an expert, but I am trying to use these videos as a way for myself to learn and gain more knowledge within the program. So thanks again for watching, and I will catch you soon.